Mayor and Council. So, because the state did not pass the bonding bill last year, they are continuing the efforts they began last year and providing an opportunity to submit their projects this year. So this is a great opportunity to submit for our capital improvement plan that we did earlier this year. We do recommend applying for that. We actually have an application ready if the council is willing to proceed. Essentially, we can apply for up to half of the project value. So with the CIP being about $11 million, we'll apply for 5.5. And again, this would just be an application for funding. You're not committing to the project, and we would be completing the project in phases that we complete funding, or that we receive funding for. So with that, we want to get the application submitted before middle of January when the next session begins. And it would look very similar to the congressional spending applications we did earlier this year. Any questions?
Sounds good.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to make application and receive funds from MMB.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
7.1, unfinished business. Discuss motion from 11/28/24 regular meeting regarding the transfer.
Mayor,
Yes.
that was myself and Councilor Gibbery that approved that change order from Bugalis. And I'd like to rescind that motion because I don't think it's prudent to transfer $500 from the public utilities electric when it's part of the project. It should just come from the project. And we should have funds available to cover that. So I'd like to rescind that motion that I was supportive of if Councilor Gibbery is in favor. Is that correct, Brian?
The motion would actually be to amend an action previously
Okay.
taken, but it's the same effect.
Okay.
So I start to support. I support. Right?
Correct.
So the $500 in, that we were gonna pay on there, was it 500?
Yes.
Well, like I said at the time, there might be some money left over when the project's done. But what we were gonna do was just pay it out of there, and if there was some, what do they call that money that's left at the end?
Continue.
Yeah, so we would just pay back, but we can wait, I guess. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next up, Chris, we're gonna have an add-on here for you so you can.
Bump me up, appreciate it. After having the public hearing, 4:30, and per our discussion on the November 7th meeting, I believe it was, looking for permission looking for council action to adopt the policy regarding body-worn cameras and permission to an approval to purchase the cameras. If there's still any questions, I guess, about the policy or anything, Brian and I can probably answer them. Otherwise, just looking for support on both things.
I'll make a motion to go forward with the body cameras.
I'll support.
Mayor, if I could,
Yes.
we probably want to take these
Is that
as
the
two separate
policy?
actions, one approving the policy and then one approving the expenditure.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the policy that was put in place for the body cameras.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the body cameras for $13,181.60 and to use the funds from the state from last year that we received.
All support. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Excellent, thank you. Can I sign that quote or should I have Beth sign it?
The mayor.
The mayor? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, under 8.1, under new business, discuss distribution of employee HSA. That's the only time I can go.
Previously, the city clerk's office did the HSA distribution in one lump sum in January. And through working with Bill Singer, we're finding that that's not common. You could do it, quarterly or monthly or however. So I'm asking for the council to give me the directive. I mean, do you want to continue to do it all at once in the month of January or change that? Brian, what do you see in other cities?
Your comments are accurate. In other cities, a lot of other cities, there's different ways that it's done, but typically it's spread over the year. And typically the way that it operates practically is that generally there's a policy in place that indicates how the distribution happens, and then that there's a clause or provision that if there's an emergency with an unforeseen or large expense, that there's an authorization or procedure for the employee to come to the city and ask for a future balance to be paid out to cover that expense.
Was there something put in a contract last time about it? I know we discussed it, of doing it split.
It was not in the contract, but it just says it gets paid. It doesn't say how,
If we're
Or
gonna do
when,
it
or-
half and half, or,
yeah, it doesn't
okay.
distinguish.
I couldn't remember if we had
Mhm.
put something in there or not.
So do we have to do a policy first?
So-
We don't necessarily have to do the policy first. What we should, typically the way that we would do this is we would give notice to the union that we are looking to make this change. We'd have a conversation with them, and the change in the way that it's distributed and the policy could all be taken on simultaneously. We don't necessarily have to have the policy in place first.
So you just need to have a motion.
Yeah, correct. I think Clerk Mackey, I think her comment was spot on. There should be a motion directing her to effectuate that change or to bring that issue to fruition and bring the policy back.
Okay, I'll make a motion to direct Clerk Mackey to develop a policy. Do you think a quarterly distribution would be good?
Yeah.
Okay, with a quarterly distribution for the HSA for 2020, beginning January 1st, 2025. And then with the verbiage that if something is needed, within the year,
Emergency, right.
emergency, that they provide documentation of that as well.
I'll support with just one question for clarification. So with that directive, does the union have to be, they can be done simultaneously, but January 1st is 2 weeks away?
Right.
So,
Mayor Quigley.
Yes,
So we should reach out to the union right away, let them know, because we want to involve them in that conversation. I think the timing piece of it is something that the city can control, but we should talk to them about it. Because essentially the benefit remains the same, it's more of a timing mechanism.
Very good. Supported by Councilor Jeffrey.
yes.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. 8.2 under new business. Approved flex plan for employees January 1, 2025.
Mayor Levine, in speaking with Bill Singer with AT Group, he also brought forth this would be a excellent additional, doesn't cost the city anything, an additional benefit for the employees so they can set aside pre-tax monies for health or daycare.
Do we have to have union approval on this too, or?
No, this is essentially This would be offering an additional benefit. It's not something we're required to offer, but if the city elects to offer it, we can.
I'll make a motion to approve the flex plan for employees January 1st, 2025.
I'll support with discussion. Who will be, explaining to the employees, you and Bill together? Okay.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. 8.3, discuss fire department wage, Fire Chief Morris.
So I just put together, we called around, talked to other departments, with trying to get new people and retain the people that we have. We're currently at $10 an hour and our pension is $2,000. So, you'll see Nashwauk, Chisholm, Hibbing, this is they also have a full-time department, so keep that in mind when you look at the pension. Grand Rapids, they all support just fire. They don't do both. Trout Lake's the only one on here that does both, medical and fire. So. If we raise the pension to 2,500, the contribution from the city is like $397, $497, if we went to 2,500. So. And we can take that out of the fire department budget if we need to.
Did you figure out, Tanya, already what your budget would, like what the cap would be for your budget?
Yep, so I don't know if anyone looked at the current budget, but the current budget, I think our wages are at 17,000. And we're at the highest amount for calls that we've ever been. We're at 195 right now. So like for instance, we had 498 fire events, so every event, whether it be a training, a call, anything like that goes into events. So we had 498 for the last 6 months, and that was all members. So what I did was I took that times the differential, which would be $5 per hour, and then times 2 for 2 times, for both the first half and the second half that we get paid. So. And we still would be well under what is proposed for the 2025 budget.
The 17,000, is this both of your pays for the year already?
I think so, because it went through this last time.
It went through. And then you have one more payroll, and so does the treasurer or secretary?
Nope, that's all in there.
That's in this one, that's
Yeah,
monthly?
it would
They
be
don't
the
get paid?
secretary would be Carnes for the fire
Right.
side, yep.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys got paid every 2 weeks, or if you got it monthly.
Remember we had to roll that treasurer in for the relief side and the president into the relief
Right.
side? That's already in there. It would just be Carnes and myself for the fire side of it, that come out of there, so. And actually, that should have went through on the last payroll as well. Yeah, that should already be in there.
Okay, I thought there was another payroll December 20.
It's month done. Yeah, but not for us.
Not for the
Okay.
fire department.
Okay.
So with that, Tanya, you already looking at, what is your, so in comparison to this grid that you already did, what's your proposal for wage? Or do you have a proposal?
I don't have in the pension side, I wouldn't go above 2,500 would be fair with the city contribution, keeping that in mind.
Mhm.
But as for the hourly wage, I don't, outside of, do you see any other ones?
I don't see it.
Yeah, you see Chisholm, I called you on Chisholm, so. But I don't know,
And you're at $10 now?
Mhm.
All right.
What's your recommendation on that?
I would like to refrain from both, because I have to abstain from
Right.
that. Randy's here, maybe Randy can say something.
Well, and I know you're in between a rock and a hard spot, but with the budget, there has to be a max. So do you think that feasibly with your budget, you could go up to $22 an hour?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
So,
I don't know how Rapids does it because they only have, well, I do know how Rapids does it because they collect sales tax that goes towards that, which,
But we're not even with the amount, the population.
yeah, I mean,
Why would
that's,
you even,
yeah,
that's not
Well,
even to be looked at if you ask me.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm
We're
just,
not at 18,000
No.
people, we're at 900, big difference.
and I'm fictitiously throwing that out there as an example because there has to be a cap. There's a bottom line and then a ceiling.
when
So,
I figured stuff out, for sure, it would be 15 is like, that's what I figured it out on. Going on to, I know that Nashwauk is asking for 14 the first meeting in January, so. And that they're going up to 2,500.
They are at 25.
Oh, they are at 2,500, maybe they were asking for another 500, that's right, so,
the city contribution is on the pension side,
yes.
which we've already done. We haven't figured anything in addition to that.
We haven't had a city contribution for years, but for a long time. As long as I've been on, I don't think we've had a city contribution for pensions.
But how does that change with what we've already agreed upon for the budget?
Yeah, I already figured that if we were to get a raise, so we would be good budget wise.
So the fire department is able to cover its own pension so far.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you have that report?
That's Sterling that does this?
Yeah.
yeah,
From
the
last, yeah,
SC 2024.
Yeah.
It should be here on file.
okay, 'cause it's not in the packet, so I was just curious to see what
I haven't
Yeah.
seen this.
So,
that's been last year or whatever.
yeah, that was the zero contribution for, like I said, we haven't had a contribution from them when we've done the FC. Like I said, last 10 years. I don't ever remember a city contribution as far back as I can go. The only thing would be the state aid that they did, and that automatically goes into our pensions, so.
SC 20. Yeah, and if there is potential, the city can levy for that.
Like I said, though, I figured it out for next year. If we went to 2,500, the max that we would owe would be, it's 600 or less. But I know that we've had people drop off since then, so that's why I'm going to guess that it's going to be less. So,
I'm just thinking in my head, and it's probably, but your calls every year go up.
You can't guess. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just it. This is the highest that I've seen since I've been on, and I've been on 14 years. So we typically, I would say, average about 160.
Well, I'll make a motion to increase the wage to $12 an hour. That seems kind of right in the area from $10. That's just my thoughts. I don't know if anyone wants to support that or not.
I'll support for more discussion, I guess. I guess right now, that seems like a good amount to start with. I mean, eventually, maybe next year we can review it if there's some changes. I mean, we're under the budget.
Right.
So we did put in 37,000 for 25. What was, just because you thought this would happen or what?
Yeah, and I didn't know, you never know how many calls you're gonna
Okay.
get, and how many people show up, I mean, that's just it, is that I could have 10 people call, I could have one person call, you just never know,
But that's a big jump in wages.
Yeah.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, same thing for training
And if
nights.
everything's been paid and we're at 18,000
Mhm.
and you're at 37, that's huge jump.
Yep.
There's no other jump that big in any of the budgets, I don't think.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be covered. But it's
And
fine.
for Hibbings, the only reason that it's 12 to 14 is because it's 12 for a firefighter, 13 for an engineer, and 14 for an officer. They do theirs different, so.
I have no further discussion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Motion carried for 12.
On the pension part, I guess I'd feel comfortable maybe going up 250 right now and then see what the SC 24 looks like for next year and if we have to levy or not. I haven't seen the report, so
Yeah.
I'd like to look at it too.
It's
just to-
on file.
So I'll make a motion to increase the pension to 2,250,
I'll support.
and that's as of January, right? Starting January.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Motion carried. Okay, next up, 8.5. Discuss amendments to the Public Works Ordinance chapters 50 through 54. Billy?
At one of the meetings, it was discussed to have a committee to look over the ordinances for public utilities, so Counselor Morris, Counselor Bronson, and myself went through those chapters and, kind of crossed out stuff and that we didn't think needed to be there, so now we are bringing it back to the council to review and see what anybody else's thoughts are.
I just have one question. Did the attorney review this?
Not yet.
Okay. Did you
I,
look at it?
I've
No?
looked through part of it
Okay.
as it was in the
Packet.
packet, but I haven't done a deep dive into it.
I guess some of my concerns were, that I noticed on the engineer, taking that out, of some of the places. And there may be times when we're going to need the engineer to review some of the stuff. I guess I haven't read it in detail, but, I see it's been crossed out in quite a few places. And then, was this updated from the codification? Is this the codified version?
From 2015.
It is,
Correct.
okay.
And then I just had one question too. It was on 19, we had talked about the tags. So are the tags, I see you have a note on there from the notes that, 28.
So I called after discussing that with him, I called Waste Management and asked them if they are picking those up.
Uh-huh.
He said, yes, if there are bags out with tags on, they do pick them up. However, he said they are charging $5 a ticket, and we've never, it's $1.65 or something
Yeah, the
like
book
that.
is 20, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, so they
We will
will
have-
pick them up though.
They will pick them up.
Okay, because in the thing, it did say that they couldn't or wouldn't do it, but they're doing it at a $5 rate now.
Correct.
Instead of, I think it was $2, $1.95 or,
95
yeah,
tax.
okay.
So is that reflected on the invoice then we get from them?
That's what I didn't,
Or
I've
not.
never seen that in there.
I will have to ask him about that as well. I just asked him if they are seeing garbage bags with tag. We don't get many. And so I don't know if we've had any. I'd have to go back and look. But he said if they do have bag with tags, they will pick them up.
Okay. So they are buying the tickets here then?
They're still, yeah,
Okay,
they have to buy.
okay.
But then we have to make a thing
Correct.
to increase
Correct.
the pickup,
Right.
which is a lot.
Hmm.
I mean, seriously, it's
I
a
think,
36-gallon bag,
Right?
if I'm not mistaken, that yellow ticket picks up. And it used to be for $2, now it's for $5,
Mhm.
but we're still selling them for $2.
So do we need to change our resolution that we had previously? Isn't that what we had and adopted all the prices for garbage?
I think tags were.
That wasn't on it.
That was.
Right,
That's what
but I
we're
mean, we're
saying.
gonna have
Oh.
to add that then, because that's part of our fee schedule.
No, that's interesting.
I don't know that many people use the service. and
But we
it's
still
not-
have to have it there if there, it's,
Right. When's the last time you sold tickets? Do you know?
they tell you right on here too. Let me find that sheet of paper that she has. It's in the bills.
Oh.
And it tells you if you sell your tickets, you know, in that Excel sheet, how many customers come in. On that sheet, it tells you if tickets were sold. So you can go and reference back to that the last time,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay,
There's an itemized thing on there.
okay.
That'll tell you.
Maybe one customer all year, maybe.
I can't imagine that people even realize that that's.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Because I didn't know what it was. which is
I mean, it
embarrassing
used to be
say.
long time ago,
Well, that's what
so,
we were talking about. I thought it was done.
So it was
Long
all
time
done then, but I thought we got rid of it all.
Yeah, I didn't know.
yeah, I didn't know they were still doing it either, so.
So that's probably why nobody's into it.
So I guess if it is a thing, then we should increase we have to change our fee schedule and put it on there, so. Maybe we can add that to the next agenda.
Would that be in your organizational meeting
No.
for the rates?
Well, yes, because we have to update that annually anyway.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Are you waiting for the attorney to review and the you guys done to review before we
Just change
make
it.
the
Yeah.
motion?
Is there any other, like, heads up things? What about the,
Well, that whole sewer thing is not
Oh.
useful to us anymore.
okay,
You know what I'm saying, Pam.
yeah,
When I review, I can try and create an electronic document that we can edit.
okay,
And I'll try and incorporate some of the suggested changes as red lines, and that may make it easier to move this forward.
okay. Sounds good.
So when I do the rate, should I put it at $5 or is that something I just wait
What do you mean,
for you guys to do the, meeting
reorganize?
first of the year with the rate change? Do I need to change the rate on there for $5?
Yeah, I think it probably has to get added, huh? Because it's not on there. Mhm. Thank you.
Billy.
Thank you.
Next up, new business, 8.6. Approve change order number 5 from Regalis Incorporated for the O'Brien Reservoir Project, increased cost of $4,825. This is to pay for the hand dryers and electrical hookup and the water line hookup from the well.
I'll make a motion to approve that change order number 5.
Isn't that for asbestos?
Isn't there another one? I thought it was, there was
It's
something.
a- it's
for
abatement.
asbestos.
Yeah.
It's for
Oh,
abatement.
okay, this is, all right,
Yeah,
this
not
is
just
for
looking
the,
it.
the old building down there, the
Yeah.
bathrooms. There's supposed to be some asbestos in the roof, I guess. So we have to pay for that now.
So this was just the inspection, not the removal?
I'm gonna guess.
It says
It says-
inspection and abatement.
I'm gonna guess that that's what.
That seems pretty high.
The first, Mayor, if we recall that the first person that they had to do the testing was not properly licensed or their license had expired, so they have to do it again.
So what does that mean? That's just not answering my question. So,
So before they can
Who's
tear down
doing
the
it?
building, you have to get this approved.
right, but are they they did the inspection or someone else did the inspection?
Yeah.
Regardless.
Regardless did the
Yeah, they-
inspection.
No, they
No,
hire it out.
They hired.
They
he
hired
hired
it.
it out, and the guy didn't have his license up to date, so the
Okay.
state refused it, so he had to hire this other guy.
Okay. I would like to know if that's including removal. Because it doesn't say.
Okay.
Well, it says inspection and abatement, so I guess it would be.
I'm thinking it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
But if it's not,
Who did this one? It doesn't say. Do you know who it was?
Usually we have a
contracted?
report on it.
Right.
I don't think
We've always gotten a report whenever we've had them.
I'm not sure if it's done yet.
It says, no, the inspection has already been completed.
Right, it says, yeah, so they have not abated it.
No,
And what's the plan for that?
So I can rescind my motion if the council would want to follow up on the extra questions. First, it seems like there's a lot.
Well, it's not very clear what
No.
we're paying for.
It
The
should
questions
be,
are valid.
yeah, there should be a report.
Yeah, there's just,
We've always
Yeah.
had reports that are attached to.
yeah, I guess I'd like some more information on this.
Okay.
That's what, how the rest of the council feels.
So do we need a motion to give Clerk Mackey the directive to follow up with Bob Lagalis for a detailed
Report.
report?
And then can I send that to the council previous to your January 8th meeting so that they can continue on with this? What are the exact questions that the council has? They would like a report? And what else do you want to know? If it is just for testing and abatement or just,
Well, has the abatement been done? It says the inspection has been completed,
and it doesn't say
but it
who or
doesn't,
what.
it doesn't say, yeah, who, if it's
Just
the
the total
abatement's
cost.
done.
okay.
And I think another valid question is if they hired somebody to do the inspection and it bounced back, did you pay for that one too? Did the city
No.
pay for that one too?
No.
No?
Okay, so no action until further information?
No action until we get back. All right, next up, 8.7. Approve change order number 2 from KGM for the First Street project, increase of cost $3,313.75.
So, like, what did they use? This is another one. It's a change order. There's no backup. And I thought Alan was coming to the meeting tonight.
Attorney Lindsay, were you able to speak with Alan?
I was. I spoke with Alan yesterday, and we had a fairly good conversation about what's needed, and he has agreed that he's going to supply us with additional information. This is with the
Sewer.
sewer plant. What he's indicated is that he's going to supply us a specific timeline, and if there's any period of time during that timeline where the contractor, through his conversations with the contractor, believes that anybody other than the contractor is responsible for liquidated damages, they're gonna highlight all of those areas so that we can have a further conversation about the final calculation time.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to table this for more information. When you get a change order, there should be documentation
This
of
isn't-
everything.
This isn't for the sewer plant.
No,
it's
no,
this is
not.
for First Street project.
This is for First Street.
What is it? What I think I remember, Eric had made a deal with the guy. We needed some stuff for lighting. They were supposed to put in a handicap parking at Legion, take the curb out, lower it down, so when you get out of the, vehicle with a,
Curb cut.
yeah, you go right into the Legion Club. Don't have to cross on top of the curb, so. It never got done, so we were working on that this week. I'm not sure if KGM responded back to us or not. And Alan was supposed to work on that too, and we haven't heard back from him.
But that's not this change order.
I think it is.
No,
From
it says
two-
for materials that have already been
Used on
used.
this project.
And that's what they're charging us for some material.
It says refer to the breakdown and pay request two.
Yeah, and there's nothing here.
There's no,
I'll support the table until we get further
Yeah.
information.
yeah, there should be a lot of paperwork with the change order, exactly what it
And the
is,
dollar.
increase, yeah, for,
Very good.
Alright, table it. 8.8, adopt a resolution to hire Mike Jukic as casual labor in the street department as on-call basis. So what we're doing here is just getting them ready to go if we need them.
I'll make a motion to approve hiring Mike Jukic as temporary casual labor.
We have none on the list right now.
I'll support.
I have a couple of questions. So what is he gonna be doing, basically?
Well, when something comes up, Eric will have to come in and talk to Beth about it, and then we'll decide if we need to casual labor or not.
So he's not just gonna be called to go
No.
work in the shop or?
No, he's not. just
Because
gonna-
that's what we
no.
ran into last year, and I don't wanna have to do that again, because he burnt through all his time, and when
Right.
we really needed him, he wasn't available.
Well, this time it's spelled out as an on-call basis, but I think it's good to have the conversation. It sounds like we already had conversations about it.
So Eric's gonna talk to Beth, and then they'll both decide that this, when he gets called, or what? Is that the plan?
That's why we're putting it in on-call basis. It's not gonna be every single day.
Okay.
And we don't know how the winter's gonna be. If the winter doesn't get worse, or we get behind a little bit, then we need somebody. But if you don't have anybody ready, it takes what, 2 weeks to get somebody hired, maybe longer, by the time we route the testing
Right.
and all this other stuff. He's available, so
Somebody's sick.
Yeah.
Vacation.
it's hurt.
Well, I just wanna make sure that it's not gonna just be a complete
Regular support time.
60 shifts
We do.
and then done, so that he's gonna be able to
Counselor,
work when we need him.
Jewelry, supported by Thronson.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. 8.9, discuss community center rental fee deposit for nonprofit organizations.
Mayor Levine, the rental contract was at your stations when you came. It wasn't included in your packet. You can see from the contract that we don't currently charge for nonprofits.
There's nothing in it for it, is there?
There's-
I didn't find anything.
There's nothing in the policy for nonprofit. So it's not regarding a deposit, it's regarding a fee for use of the facility. Yeah. So have they ever paid a security deposit? Any of them?
No.
None of them, okay. And then the only language in this contract, the policy, is under fundraising. Any groups conducting a fundraiser will be charged a predetermined fee by the city to cover costs of setting up, maintenance, cleaning, and all areas used by the event. The city reserves the right to waive the fee by a majority vote of the council. So we don't have a nonprofit fee set up. So I think that was kind of the discussion from the last meeting, that we want to set a fee, a minimal fee, I guess, for the nonprofits that are using the building on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Yeah, due to the cost of heating and cleaning, all those things.
I think maybe before we decide on anything like that, we should have the nonprofits come to a meeting. They can voice their opinions, because as soon as we raise it, they're all gonna be here. We've already went through this once already. So. if we're gonna
It's a
raise
good
it,
idea. to
Let's have them
invite
here in
Yeah.
front of the council. That's so.
That's
So,
Mhm.
Can I ask one
I'm the
question?
one that's gonna take all of it.
Can I ask one question though with that?
Yeah.
Just with the attorney, Brian?
Yes.
Are you aware of how other cities do that for the, because I think the part that we're talking, we don't wanna, they bring business into the city and we talked about that. That's all that, it's not about, what they're doing, it's about the overhead that it costs to run the community center and the cost. So is there other cities that have a fee for that? And I don't think anybody was thinking it was gonna be way big, I mean, just to cover some of that.
Yeah, it's within the city's prerogative to establish a fee for rental of its facilities, no matter the group. And so long as it's applied evenly among the group, so long as we have a valid basis or a valid reason why we would offer a different rate to a different group, we can do that, so long as it's based on a non-discriminatory reason. And it's commonly accepted that nonprofits can receive preferential or different rates.
So you guys are now,
So Mayor Levine, the public utilities clerk and I will create an invitation for them to come at our January, maybe not the first week in January, but invite out the nonprofits that use the facility on
I
a
think
regular
so.
basis.
so I'll make a motion to give that directive to reach out and invite the nonprofits to the January council meeting.
I'll support it. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next up, 8:10, discuss public utility electric rates. All right, for the last, few months now, we've been checking on it, and we're paying Minnesota Power more money than what we're bringing in. So we've been putting this off for a while. I just think it's time that we raise electric rates. We can't be going in a hole. Plus, we have projects that have to be done, there's poles that have to be replaced, and some lines that need to be changed. We have some work coming up on the line truck, has to go down to Duluth for some welding and testing. I know Nashwauk is charging 12 cents per kilowatt, we're at 10. I think a 2 cent increase is about what we need.
What are the other towns charging? Does anyone know?
Nashwauk's charging 12
Yeah, I'm any other towns.
more.
Do we know?
You know, Billy?
Well, how much more are we paying them? And if we're paying them more than what we're taking in, what's the difference? I don't have any paperwork to even, I don't know what we're doing. If I didn't know that we were going in the hole every month.
I think last year, what was it, the last time we raised it, we had that chart that we looked at that told us,
That Excel from Minnesota Power. And it
Yeah.
tells us what we're charged every month, how many kilowatt hours were used. I haven't seen that, so it's hard.
Is it the one in the?
It's not in there. I looked to see if it was in there this month and it isn't in there. So I have no idea where we're at. To me, that's where you're gonna come up with the numbers that you need. You're not gonna match another town. I don't think that's fair to the residents here.
Okay.
So how much are we under?
I'm pretty sure not too long ago, we had a meeting with those reports here, but we can definitely pull reports in.
But how much under are we not, making a month?
Yeah, I'd have to,
Is it 1,000, 5,000, 500? No idea?
I'd have to research it.
Okay. That's where,
What's happening is in this contract that we signed, we were doing well at the beginning. But as we continue to go farther into the contract, they start to raise on their end. We're getting a low end at first. They're starting to come in with more. We have to keep up. Can't keep going in the hole.
well, how much are they charging us per kilowatt? 8 cents, 7 cents, we're doing 10 cents. That's what, I mean, if you have that Excel sheet, it tells you right on the bottom what they're charging us and what we spend per year. And if we, I don't know, you gotta have the paperwork to look. And we don't have any utilities here right now. So, what we've taken in or taken out or whatever.
I'll make a motion, table this till the next meeting. And then, provide the spreadsheets and, information on the year-to-date
Might wanna look at
Costs
the
and revenue.
contract too.
and the contract, sure.
That's what I would do.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Can I ask one other? If we can get that prior to the meeting packet going out, so like right after the first of the year, if that works, Billy?
Okay, 8.11, adopt resolution for
Can't do
final
that.
2024 levy.
Can't do that. We can't do that yet.
Yeah.
We have to have the
Yeah.
hearing
Gotta do
first,
the taxation.
so you can go down to 11.
What do you want to do?
You can go down to number 11 because we gotta wait till we have our public hearing at 6.
8.11, are you talking about?
Well,
Go to
12.
Item,
Number 11, under
department head,
department head.
department head reports.
Oh, okay. Keewatin ice rink flooding.
They're like being, I can report that, the crew that we have working down there is working diligently. They're spraying every night. We have, they've all passed their background portions and they're setting up a regular schedule. So we should be off and running, open all day Saturday, Thursday night and Friday night, and then Saturday, Sunday. And we're filling in for Christmas vacation. We put a notice out on public social media that you're available to go down there, and there's also skates. If you don't have any, feel free to check a pair out. The kiddie rink and the big rink. Rob's been doing a good job checking on them during the day for me. Appreciate that.
Good news.
So they're open, not just on the weekends right now until Christmas then, or?
They'll be
Next
open
week?
Thursday, tomorrow night,
Tomorrow.
Friday night,
Okay,
and then we're off and running as of tomorrow.
okay, perfect, nice, thank you.
Good job.
All right, 2023 investment report card for the Keewatin Fire Relief Association.
just for your information. Get it from the auditors every year. The state sends it out, so. We'll go back and get that one, if you will.
Okay.
Okay, under new business, approved fire department Grand Forks fire equipment quote for $2,590 to purchase gas monitor, Fire Chief Marks.
So one of the 4 gas monitors that we have, isn't working. We sent it in to see if they could fix it. For us, they can't. So that leaves us with 1 4 gas monitor, which they're typically only supposed to last like 4 to 6 years, and it's lasted 12. So for us, but anyway, so we're asking to purchase. It's winter. We're getting called for gas leaks, getting called for possible CO. So I don't want to be with one that may quit working. And so there's a request in for 2 gas monitors, and I'm $90 over the $2,500 spending limit, so. Here we are.
Talk to him about that and you'll probably be,
I'm like,
I'll make a motion to move forward and get the gas monitors and
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Make note.
Yeah, we would recess this meeting and go into.
So I'll make a motion to recess the meeting, and go into the truth and taxation.
We have to wait till 6:01.
Until 6:01.
Oh, right.
Six oh one.
I know, it's,
Potty breaks.
yeah.
we'll sit down and figure out how much we're gonna do with our levy. Do we have any discussion
We
here?
need to read the thing,
We need to read the
notice.
notice.
City of Keewatin, notice of proposed total budget and property taxes. The Keewatin City Council will hold a public hearing on its budget and the amount of property taxes it is proposing to collect to pay for the cost of service the city will provide in 2025. All Keewatin taxpayers are invited to attend the public hearing of the city council to express their opinion on the budget and on the proposed amount of 2025 property taxes. The hearing will be held on Wednesday, December 18th, 2024 at 6:01 in the council chambers. Subsequent public meeting will be held on Thursday, December 19th at 6:01 in the council chambers.
Shut it on first here. Okay. Clerk, city clerk, have you received any notification or any correspondence from anybody regarding their taxes for 2025?
I have not.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to talk about their taxes for 2025, the proposed taxes?
Just an explanation of what the money's gonna be used for the increase, I guess.
Can you go to the podium, please?
I don't know, I've never been to a city council meeting and I've been a, resident I know everybody here for the most part. But
Sir, could you state your name?
Look at them.
Hi, Luke.
So, just curious that, my property tax went up 35%, $714, and just wondering what that's gonna go towards. I understand there's increases and, just wondering how am I gonna benefit from that?
Well, just about everything in the city's gone up, just about everything. And this is a contract year we got coming up, so wages have gone up, insurance just went crazy on us. And, everything we buy, everything that breaks down costs double what it did 5 years ago. It's crazy. We raise all the time, we're trying to make some cuts too. So we're working on that, trying to get our budget in order too.
Okay.
We fight a losing battle on this all the time.
Yep.
We don't have a lot of businesses in town, which really hurts us to raise money because of people. That's all we have to pay taxes.
Yep.
I hear you, mine are going up all the time too.
Oh, yeah, I'm not here to.
No, and I
just want
understand that.
I just want to be informed and,
I feel for
when
you.
someone says something on the street, I can have an answer, or, so I just know as a citizen what I'm paying for, and, that's okay. The price of everything goes up, we negotiated our stuff for the school, and our healthcare went up quite a bit too, and everything costs more. You're right.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yes,
of that, and I'm a St. Louis County resident, so I don't see the Keewatin disclosures. Is there a portion of that increase that's attributable to the city and a portion to the county and the school district? How much of that increase or how much of that change do we have control over?
You haven't taxed me.
I'm just talking about my city, my Keewatin city taxes went up 35% or $714. Everything, I'm not talking about anything else. That's a different.
Just this
But
year.
it doesn't have the fiscal disparity added to that yet. You know, I'm not saying this year we ended up with something on that, Luke, I'm just gonna say in general.
Yeah.
But it does not have any of the other levies for the county on that sheet of paper, from what I remember, that's what I'm saying, right? It doesn't have a percentage on there.
So
I was gonna grab
I just
mine.
calculated mine, the actual 2024, and then I see proposed for 2025 for the Keewatin city. That's the numbers I'm.
And it's
pulling up.
down on the bottom, right? It tells you
I can show you.
31%.
I just calculated. I
Yeah,
don't,
he just
It's
figured
just-
it out.
Oh, you
The
figured
increase.
it yourself.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it's gonna
Oh,
be.
there it is.
How much
This
did
is-
your value go up?
26% is what it's saying for the
Oh, your
full.
value went up about 30,000.
Yeah.
And then, see, this is what I was.
Mhm. It gives it gives a percentage.
Mhm. So that's what I was kind of curious on that back part.
yeah, I mean, I'm not axe grinding, I just.
No, no.
I just want to know, I mean, I know all of you personally, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
get paid in the butt for anything, I don't know, it's a lot of money, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
So.
The overall
we're paying a lot,
budget.
the new part of the new addition, we're spending a lot of money,
Mhm.
I just want to make sure
I
that
agree.
we
I get it,
do
mine
everything
went
we
up
can.
27%, so I understand too, and that's, as a council member, I try to sit here and keep that in mind, that basically, because like you said, the new edition gets hit hard, you know, so.
So I think too, and I personally like your question, Luke, because this came up last year as well. And I think the way that tax form reads is that there is an assumption there that the city of Keewatin sees all that money that's listed there, which is not the case, correct? Because people were coming last year and they were like, well, my
It's
taxes
on the
went up
line item.
$2,000, and so I think that there was this thought that the city of Keewatin got a secret pocket of money, and that money was gonna be distributed accordingly, which was not, correct me if I'm wrong
You're
here.
right, we don't get it
We
all.
don't necessarily get that money. And so I don't wanna misspeak to it, but I think you guys can recall the same conversations. Because
So,
we had a lot more people here last year at that
Right.
meeting with that first hit on the taxes, and that was what people were thinking.
and so basically on the backside, what it says for Keewatin at 9.7.
Yep.
That's what the increase is for us,
Okay.
for the city. So it's 50-some $1,000 increase on our tax levy. But the formula is so complicated that you calculated yours went up 30%, but someone's could have gone down 10%. But with the formula, it's hard to know because there's so many variables in there. You can't just say mine went up 30% when the overall levy actually was 10.
Well, mine did go up 30.
Right.
The money I'm gonna spend goes up 35%.
Yeah.
The city's is different, but.
Right.
yeah,
So, but and it's based on your value and everything else. So your value went up 30,000. So,
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't sell, there's no way I could sell my house for that much money.
Mhm.
You'd be surprised, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, okay, I just wanted to ask the question, so was informed.
I think the other
Thank
thing is that last year when we had the auditor on for Itasca
Mhm.
County, she said that basically we're 3 years behind on house sales in order for that to catch up. So that's a big portion of it too, is that people that are selling around us, you're not gonna see that this year, you won't see it for a couple of years until it comes up. So, I mean, it's been nuts, the market has been crazy, so.
When we talked a lot last year about the overcorrection. We're seeing it now, but for years there wasn't an increase, and actually there should have been. But they had some, who was that came from Itasca County that tried to explain it to us?
Deb Davis.
Deb Davis.
Good person to call.
So I mean, as far as like for 2020, for 2026, like what are you thinking it's gonna do the same thing again, or is that too far out to even, all depends on costs, everything?
Mhm.
And it's gonna be a big thing, like for us, I would assume that the school's gonna factor into that, then what we're gonna be able to do with that. So, and I know that we're working on getting the property Jarvis Field the next, you know, so like Mickey said, the problem is we don't have any businesses in town. So either we need to get more houses or we need to get more businesses. So that's the only way that we're going to account for assessments.
What's the process for people who don't pay their property tax for the city?
That's up to the county.
Yeah,
Okay, it is you, okay. You have any, what percent of the Keewatin residents don't pay their property tax, like for the city part of it?
There's some, I don't know what it is.
Or what does the city council do about that? I mean, you guys pursue that at all?
It's not within the city council's jurisdiction to do anything with that.
The county will pursue it as property taxes.
yeah.
And they have, what, 5 years
There's a process.
before it's tax forfeit, so.
Like 150,000.
Luke, if you feel that the value of your property is more than you think that you'd be able to get, you may want to call the assessor's office and have them give you the supportive data as to where that valuation came from.
Yeah.
Some new improvements must have happened. None? For 30,000? Okay. I'd ask for clarification on
Trouble
that.
is some older houses in town sold for 200 and some thousand.
Yep.
That were worth $40,000
Yep.
5 years ago. And it's just jacked. It's all
Yep.
along.
So you can go to the local board of appeals, which will be next spring, and that county board handles that.
Okay.
So if you have a, you know, you want to discuss your valuation and,
Yeah.
you know, it's based on sales, that's a whole nother variable thing too,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
If I'm reading the budget right, there's 149,000 that has not come in taxes.
That's this year's, though. Doesn't
Yeah,
have to
that's
do with
this year,
next
yeah.
Okay, well, thanks. I
Mhm.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, just let her know a little bit that. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jake, yeah, Concord. You always got something good.
I don't mind. Mine went up 28%, you know, just the city portion.
Jake, what is your last name?
Pardon?
Jerry Adams.
Jerry?
Jerry Adams.
Jerry, just the city portion. And my evaluation did go up, but the county didn't go up at all. It went up by 50 cents, so the evaluation shouldn't have affected. Because I would think if my evaluation went up by $30,000, the county should have got it more. But they didn't, but the city did it. Actually, my city went up about $300 from 1,000,
That's the mine went
just
up.
the city portion, so. I guess did our budget go up 28% the city?
10,
No. I guess
9.7.
I don't understand where the money goes. Because here it says the city of Keewatin gets $1,300 from me and whatever from Luke. But you don't get it. I guess I don't understand that. That's something
We
that,
tried to fight this out last year with the county.
yeah, I know, I was here
And they
last
couldn't
year
even
and
tell us.
everybody just kind of looked at each
Yeah.
other like nobody knew where it went. And it goes somewhere. 'Cause
The extra money, Igor told me when I met with him here, he's our rep from here yet, he said it went to the state. That's where all the extra money goes to, when you do these valuations.
But I
I
think,
mean, you know, I pay more to the city of Keewatin than I do on my light show. And I mean, that is just reversed what it used to, was 30 years ago. It was, I'd always pay twice as much on my lake shore than I did to the city. The way it's reversed now.
If I may,
Yes.
your property that sits in the city of Keewatin has a levy for the county and a levy for the city, okay? So your portion of the pie, your portion of that city levy is attributed to your property, okay? You have more city services within the city of Keewatin than you do on your lake shore. You also have credits that are applied due to your classification on your property here in Keewatin. Your lake shore is classified as recreational.
Yeah, I basically have the
Seasonal.
same in Keewatin that I had 30 years ago and the same that I got at the lake 30 years ago, so.
Right,
I
but
mean,
you're
I
receiving-
got fire protection, I got ambulance, I got the county plow goes by, the
Correct.
township, I'm in the township up there, so.
you're receiving credits within the city of Keewatin, and you're not receiving any credits on your taxes for the property that's recreational. So it kind of washes itself out a little bit when you say that you pay
Yeah,
more there.
all I know is what it says on the paper, you guys get $1,300 from me.
Thank you.
1,300.
We don't, it goes somewhere, I guess.
So is that accurate? That was the point, and that's the clarification, and I wanna know the answer too.
Me
So
too.
everybody's tax statement that says the city of Keewatin gets this, is that an amount that the city sees in the budget? So if everybody in Keewatin adds up to $1 million, the city of Keewatin, that's the way people are reading that, that's the same way they were reading it last year, is that there was that assumption that the city of Keewatin
Receives that funds.
received all of that money, and the question remains the same of where does it go? Because your questions are exactly the same.
We don't get it all.
So our services don't change, I mean, we provide good services, there is inflation, there is all of that, but we don't get that money that it states the city of Keewatin gets. And I don't know we've never gotten a clear answer of where that money is allocated, but maybe we should. Because nobody's been able to
We
explain
tried.
it. That's why we invited last year, we had somebody come and speak here at a council meeting around the levy last time. I don't wanna misspeak and put my foot in my mouth, but that is the consistent question that people have.
What percent do you get? You have an idea, like what like of the total budget?
Right, well, this year it's 600,000, 603,000 is what we,
What we see.
our
That's what I'm
levy,
like.
that's what our levy is
Okay.
for the general fund.
If you add up all the taxpayers' money, and then there's a big pot, what percent does the city get and what percent does everybody else get? I'm just curious if you got that.
I don't think we would know that unless
No.
everybody like yourself brought in there. How would you even
Well, the auditor's office would be able
Yeah.
to
tell us?
give you clarification on that, but I don't know how clear it's going to be.
Because you don't know who's gonna pay their taxes.
Mhm.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of factors, and I think that's why it makes it so muddy to explain it,
Mhm.
because all of the questions that go into that. And we've had times where the tax money has came later, the next year, right?
Mhm.
So we just got a big lump, what was it, last year or the year
2
before?
years ago.
2 years ago, where people that didn't, there was a carryover. All of a sudden you get, I don't wanna say reimbursed, but you are able to account for
Right.
that money,
They
but it
caught up.
doesn't come
Yeah.
necessarily during that budget year. But we still have to function as a city. We still have to pay for all of this stuff for everybody regardless if we have money or not. Now you piqued my curiosity. Maybe I'm gonna have to-
I'm just curious, I don't know,
Maybe I'm gonna have
I'm
to
like
look up the
always behind
numbers.
with city budget stuff, so that's why I'm here. That's what-
Yeah,
To become educated,
But that's-
not expert, I mean, so.
yeah, but I think that it's a good question, and like I said, the only reason why I'm bringing it back up again is because these two questions are very consistent with years prior. So when we're having this conversation about raising and, doing the levy and seeking more money, I think it's a valid question to ask, where is my tax money going? And if we can't answer that for you clearly, then, that's a hard one.
Mayor Levine, I think it's important that the taxpayers know that you've been meeting on your city budget since August was our first one. And this is a process in looking through everything, and there's lots of contracts that come into play with it. Future projects or expenditures, replacements, repairs. They have done their due diligence in shaving on their budget. We just had a budget meeting last week. I will say that I feel that the city council is doing their very best within their ability to try and keep your costs down. At the same time, trying to maintain and improve the city at the same time.
It's not an easy task.
Is there anything else?
Look, I've even brought my taxes in to the county to see if they can give me an explanation, because everybody says, oh, your house is 7 years old, it'll go down, your taxes will go down, your house is 17 years old, your taxes will go down. I brought it to the county and they cannot give me a clear answer on the formula that they use. There's like one person in the entire state that knows this formula that they keep talking about. So I don't get a clear cut answer when I go there and ask questions either.
Itasca County just recently went through a new auditor. We have a new auditor. The previous one retired, and Deb Davis is also retired. So maybe visiting the auditor's office with a new perspective, new people, it may be a little bit more clear.
I will go.
Yeah, the reason we have the increase at 10% was because that's how much money we were short in the budget. We have to have this all done by the first of the year. So like, until we're done negotiating and all that stuff, we can't do anything. We can't make any cuts, we can't do anything. Maybe next year we'll be better off if we can get our own house in order, you know? And that's what we're trying to do. We'll see what happens.
Even though with that increase in the levy, we're still short $35,000 on our overall budget that we'll have, if at the end of the year, we need to transfer in that much money or more, that's where we're at. So to balance our budget, it's a transfer in. So that's why we want to keep our spending low, and hopefully we don't have to make a transfer and things will work out, but.
Can't we just deficit spend like the government?
They don't let us do that.
And just for the record, the city has not seen a tax increase or a levy increase for 7 years. It was 0 all the way till last year and this year. So 19 was 3%, and the rest have been 0. So that's kind of why we're sitting where we're sitting and trying to make these decisions that adversely affect our citizens, but we're trying to keep up with the times, and by not having a levy or a levy increase over those years, you got to make up for it somewhere. So gradual increases help balance it out a little more. So hopefully we can get caught up here.
We also got 2 big loans we gotta pay off. $2 million on the sewer plant, $400,000 at the community center. We changed our form of government, which caused, but we had to hire another person. So that was done by ballot, people voted it in, but where's the money? We had to implement it, but we didn't have the money.
And I will
We're
just say
still
that's
working
the
on
best
that,
thing
too.
that has ever been done to this city, because not having a clerk in this office as a full-time position wreaked havoc on this town. Believe me.
No, she's paid her wages 100 times over. So it's been a good thing for the town.
So even though we had to hire a full-time position for that, it's well worth the money. And whoever voted for it, thank you very much.
I mean, all our projects that we did in the last year, all paid for. Didn't cost taxpayers nothing. So the grants were there and we got the money. Some of the things like, we did a big project out of Bryan, everybody goes, why did you spend so much money out there? That's what the money was available for. If we didn't take it, some other city would have got it. We need it for streets, we need it for alleys. They don't want to give you money for that. We got to work it into a giant project, which we're trying to do. We have a $10 million or $11 million infrastructure plan. We're trying to get 10, 12 streets done. But we're trying to raise as much money as we can. And we got a new engineering firm that's working on it. So they got some money guys and bond and do stuff like that with the state. It hurts when you don't have businesses to help pay for everything. Next year we'll have a bank come in on the tax roll. That should help us. It's a $3 million bank. Well, hopefully that helps maybe take the burden off people a little bit.
No, I mean, you guys work hard at this, you're trying to make chicken soup out of chicken parts, so it's tough. So I'm on the school negotiating thing, I know it's difficult to balance budgets, and I get it, I was uninformed, I want to be informed, so. Not mad at anybody,
No,
so.
we're glad you came in.
I just wanted to be informed, and next month I'll be back for something positive, so something for O'Brien that we're working on in school, so. Stay tuned.
Good.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It'll be in your minutes coming up.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
Okay, I talked to you on the phone.
You can't do anything. You have to go back to your meeting. Reconvene. I'll make a motion to adjourn the tax levy meeting.
Taxation.
To the taxation.
Supported by.
Any further discussion, all in favor? And now we're back to our other meeting.
Okay. We are back to 8.11. Adopt a resolution for the final 2024 levy payable in 2025. I don't have the updated one. I'm going to pass out to you right now. This is for the budget. I'm sorry. The current resolution is in your packet. The one I'm handing out to you.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to set the final tax levy payable in 2025 for a levy of $620,844.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Motion carried.
Roll call. Roll call. Counselor Morris?
Yes.
Counselor Jivry?
Yes.
Mayor Levine?
Yes.
Counselor Levine?
Yes.
Counselor Tronson?
No.
Okay, 8.12. 8.12.
Adopt resolution for the general fund 2025 budget.
Mayor Levine, the one that I just passed out to you is the updated resolution.
Resolution adopting final budget for the year 2025. Resolved by the City Council of the City of Keewatin, that the Keewatin City Council does hereby adopt the following final general fund budget for the year 2025. Whereas the City Council of Keewatin has set the 2025 general fund budget at $1,404,364. Now therefore be it resolved that the authorizing authority of the City of Keewatin is accepting the 2025 general fund budget of $1,404,364.
I'll make a motion unless there is I'll make a motion to accept this budget.
I'll support. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I have some discussion.
Yes.
There are some changes that do need to be made. Counselor Thronson pointed them out under the police department. So the para needs to be adjusted, the employer HSA was the health,
No, you said that came up to that same amount.
the health insurance?
Oh, not the health insurance, no.
Para and HSA.
Para HSA, and then the health insurance possibly.
Mhm.
What are the adjustments?
The paras increased about 17.
Mhm.
The HS,
17,000.
yeah, 17,000. The HSA would be reduced a little bit. Not sure on the health insurance. But then there was another figure of 17 something that was a wash. So
Well,
it's like,
Mhm. They're just, the numbers aren't put in right. If that's what, I was not sure with the HSA. I thought it was the same as this last year with that little bit of increase. That it had gone up 100 or 2, whatever, per family or per single. But then Beth had said that Bill, I thought he started it in 22, 23 he started. He's only got a year in.
Yeah.
So he started later, but his HSA would have been the same. Doesn't matter when he started. And he was family, so you had 2 family and 1 single. And then there was just the air with
The para,
the para, yeah.
which I agree.
Also, I talked to Billy and, the fire department is in payroll side, but apparently it wasn't in the fund accounting side. So that 17,000 number
Isn't right.
isn't
Right now.
It didn't seem like it would have been, but I can't go unless,
say that again?
So when I talked to Billy, that it's in the payroll side, but it's not in the fund accounting side, so
it's,
that's
For the year to
17,000.
it hasn't been set.
It's
That's
hasn't
wrong.
been- That's wrong.
How does it not get posted into the general fund?
I don't think it's on your year-to-date budget that I just ran right now.
On the 18th.
The 18th?
Please.
Oh, it hasn't been posted yet?
When you spoke with her, did she say that it hasn't been posted into the fund accounting?
Correct.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Does this make us short or more? or
Well,
what does it- what does it mean?
For
Like,
last,
we're in the dark here.
that's for 2024. That hasn't been posted.
That only one.
Right.
Not the.
Yeah.
The 2025, it is
Yes.
with the para, as we said. And then adjustment in the police department. You know, the 8,250, but if that's what it is now, but I don't understand why it would have been
It's
4,800.
8,000,
8,000
Right now.
even?
1,600 and 3,200 apiece.
Okay, because this one's 8,250.
Yeah, so that would be 8.
So how much money are we talking total?
The difference was, ended up being a couple $100.
Yeah, they're just not put in the numbers
Okay.
right.
So we're not talking, obviously it needs to be
Yeah.
correct, but it's not.
Correct.
Right.
No.
No.
Okay. All right.
Just a little bit. But the numbers need to be adjusted, so I think we need to make that included in the motion.
Yeah.
That those numbers be adjusted.
So I'll amend my motion to include the changes discussed.
I'll support that.
And to me, this year is gonna end up coming out a lot better than what we were thinking too. With the new, that Beth had done on the 18th, right? Wherever that is. It's dropped quite a bit, so I was glad to see that. Changes those numbers too.
Have a motion in a second.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Looks like you have done 8.13 and 14 earlier.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
I guess we had one thing, we didn't congratulate the two outgoing counselors, Counselor Ronson and Counselor Jibri. Thank you for your 4 years of service to the city.
Thank you. No, only say nice things.
We forgot about that.